All right. Can you guys hear me? All right. Um, Before we get started today, what I would like to do is to actually give you a. Why don't you guys turn your cameras on if you want to, or if you can at least. If you want to turn your cameras on, it'll be easy to talk. But what I'm gonna do today is actually have some questions. Then when I talk about an action plan, what I want from you guys is I want to know your test date for PSAT. So go. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Well, I just need to know what day your test is. Okay, October 18th for Daniel. Okay. How about other?
My email says the week of October 16th to 20th.
Yeah, it has to be on a Wednesday, so it'll be mostly on October 18th then.
Okay.
How about
I think mine's around the same days,
what date is Kirtana?
like October 18th.
So, my question to you guys is, you guys don't know the date, or you're not sure what's going on? Because you should have all the information by this time. Okay. So if I were to be you, I would actually talk to the school and get this figured out. Okay. How about you, Alisa?
And mine's on the 14th as well.
14th.
14th, yeah.
That's is that a weekend?
Yeah, it's a Saturday. I think we take it at like 7 a.m.
Wow. Okay.
At the school.
All right. Well, looks like people are all over the place this time. So, okay. So that gives us basically anywhere between 10 to 12 days of preparation in general. Some for some it may be a little bit more. So what I want to do today is talk about your plans, how to prepare. So if you want to write down this, and if you're an student who is going to watch this recording, and you may want to text me if you have any questions. Okay. Okay. Here's what I would do. I would start with the Kaplan book, this book, and then there is this particular card here, the access card. What I would do is I would access the access card, and there are several tests lined up in that one. What I would do is I would print these tests, maybe print like two or three. This coming week, you want to do one section, one day, English language and writing. The test is done, time yourself, take the test, and then next day, grade the test, go through all the corrections. Now, I've repeated this several times about the significance of not making mistakes in PSAT. It's not like ACT or SAT where you have some sort of room. PSAT hardly has any room. So what I want you guys to do is one day you take the test, next day you do the corrections. Next day, then you take math with calculator and math without calculator, and then you basically go the next day as a correction. So you alternate between testing and correction, and next weekend, which is going to be a problem for many, last weekend before the real test, you have to take a full practice test from the Kaplan after you print it out. So let me repeat so that you have an understanding. Starting tomorrow, you starting tomorrow, you take one section test Once the test is done, you close the test. Next day, you grade and do the corrections, and follow the same system basically. So if we start doing it Sunday, Monday will be corrections, Tuesday will be math, then Wednesday will be corrections. If you want to take a break after that one day, it's okay. But you got to consistently practice time test for PSAT. And the most important thing is when you make a mistake, to do the corrections. Then, if you're having issues with the if you're having issues with the any questions, English, language, doesn't matter which one it is, you just have to text me, hey, I'm having this question, can you help us with? You have a choice to contact us. We can enforce you guys to do this. We cannot force you guys to do this. So you have a choice to always contact us and make sure that you are actually keeping up. Otherwise, you're not going to be prepared for the PSAT test. This is actually one of the very few years where it is so late. Usually it's usually on October 10th or 11th, but this time seems to be pretty late. October 18th is a little late. But you have a little bit more time to prep, and you have to take at least one full practice test, if not more, before the real test. But do not take the real test the weekend before the test, because then you'll have test fatigue and you just will be tired. And I don't want that. With that, I want to see if you guys have any questions about this action plan.
Or if we make a mistake and we're like correcting it, how do you suggest that we like approach the mistake so we don't try to make it again? Do you think that we should like repeat the question over and over, or do something else?
Okay, I want to give you two suggestions, and this is true for ACT as well. And we really spend time on MCAT on this particular strategy here, and that's why you have to ask questions. Okay, there is only so much we can cover with our own basic knowledge. You have to ask questions, and we can talk about it. So, for example, in math, you made a mistake. There are two types of mistake. Okay, one is a silly mistake, which happens to probably everybody, and second mistake is you have no clue about the question. If it's a silly mistake, I would repeat this problem 3 times without looking at the solution. Repeat, 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 and you're done. But if you don't know the concept, what I would do is first go to Google or go to a math textbook in English textbook, find the concept where it is, and then actually try to understand the concept. Then come back to this question and go through every that question really in detail, and then do additional practice problems of at least 5 to 10. So, for example, let's say you're doing something and you get a question on trig and you have never seen it. And of course, the other option and the other thing is, which I hope you will do, is you'll be contacting us. Hey, Manoj, today, for example, somebody contacted us for a parabola problem from the ACT class. It was an inverted parabola, and I think the textbook was wrong, and she was having a hard time understanding. So she's like, can you explain to me? So I did the problem, had my voice recording for a couple of steps, and sent it to her. Students don't do it. They think, once the class is done, that they can contact us. That is just pretty silly. And some people don't put in the effort. So I just think that you have a choice to make. But if you don't know the concept, you really have to go back to the concept and learn the concept before you actually do the problem again. But if it's a silly mistake, I would be critical of that mistake, why I did it, but doing it 3 times will just help you to avoid that mistake again. Does that make sense, Kirtana?
Yes, thank you.
Anything else? Anybody else have any questions? Today's the last day, official last day, so if you want to ask, this is the time to ask, but you're more than welcome to be contacting us all through. So, okay, I don't want to waste time waiting here. So, I have a next question. I know Ryan met with you guys for 6 hours total. I just would love to hear how Ryan did. And I know that we are missing quite a bit of students in the class. I don't know what's going on today, but I know only one has told me that they won't be attending. But do you have any comments about Ryan's class?
I think he like taught pretty well. He had like slides that explained the concepts, and then he had like practice questions after, and then he just cold called up, answered those, and then explained it, and then we did the problems from the book. So yeah.
Good. Did it help? That's the end of the story. Does it make? Did it help?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Okay. And as I said, this is the last day of the class. Do you have any comments about our program in general about the PSAT? We have been doing this for now over 11, 12 years now. Do you have any suggestions to improve this class and my class and Ryan's? Any? And I know that you guys don't tend to talk much, unlike the ACT students. They actually at least respond much. But how about, is there anything that can help us to make a better program? We made one big change this time. The biggest change was Ryan's notes. We have never done that before. And that was the feedback we received last year. And we spent a lot of time making those notes. So last year, people did speak up, and it was really an interaction class. So we made changes. But this time, don't seem like we get a whole lot from you guys. So, all right. So if you have anything, just let me know. Otherwise, I'm assuming it's all great. Go ahead and get this book and go to page 473, please. Last time we did this test, the without calculator section, we graded the test. And I asked how many got what and everything. Now, what I want from you guys is, for the without calculator section, do you have any questions I need to work on the whiteboard? So if you want to take a few minutes to go through your stuff, and I can. I know that one student got all correct last time, and 3 students had made one mistake. Is there any questions you guys were not sure from that 17 questions?
Number 13, I wasn't sure about.
Yep. Okay. That's pretty commonly asked question for us, by the way, 13. Asking questions doesn't mean, I just feel like you guys are not taking advantage of this. So I just, especially, I know that this test was pretty hard. So even if you have guessed it and you got it correct, I would like to work on it, because unfortunately or fortunately, you will end up getting these type of questions, and if you have not corrected it, you might as well be in the same situation next time. So, any last? Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Number 16.
Number 16. Okay. All right. I just don't want to waste too much time. Now we're going to go to the with calculator section. I would like everybody to have your calculators. And just do a thumbs up when you have the calculator ready. Okay, I'm waiting for 3 more students to have their calculators. Okay, good. Now, here's what's going to happen with the with calculator section. As you can see, it is 45 minutes, 31 questions. I'm going to make a small change right now. I want to give you guys 35 minutes and 31 questions. I'm going to stop you guys at 35 minutes. You'll have the clock as a reference here, but 35 minutes. What should happen? We have 5 students in the class right here. You should be very close to be done with the 31 questions, if not completely done. Now, if you're done with all the 31 questions in 35 minutes, don't sit and just waste your time. Work on every question you're not sure about so that you're trying to get that perfect score. That's what you're trying for, by the way, to make the national merit here. So after 35 minutes, I'm going to give you additional 5 more minutes to see if you want to complete any remaining questions. The reason I'm trying to push you guys is in the real test, if you think that you want to use up all the 45 minutes, you will not be completing the test the way you want. You want to be done with the test by 35 to 37 minutes. Our students are averaging between 32 and 40 minutes in the last 2-3 years. And they're very well placed by the time 40 minutes is done. What happened, Poor?
I just didn't get like the last like a minute of what you were saying. I know we're on the calculator section and we have 35 minutes, but that's all I got.
Yeah, that's
I don't know.
yeah, that's what I think. I think that's the gist of it, by the way. So first of,
What if we put before?
if you are done before, make sure to review any questions you are not sure about, because I don't want you to just sit there and waste your time.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this clock started. Remember, you can do any order you want. You can do gradients first, whatever you want. It's your choice. I recommend to do the first 5 questions of the multiple choice and then first 2 of the gradients, because those are the most easiest questions you're gonna get. That's how it's structured in PSAT. Everybody knows that. So if you want to start off with that, you can do that. Or if you want to feel like going from 1 to 31, that's your choice as well. As I said, what you're going to get today in that what you're going to get as a score today, you will be plus or minus 30 points in the real test. So today's will be a pretty good representation of what's going to happen in the real test. With that, I'm going to say good luck to you guys, and you'll have 35 minutes, and your time starts now. right, everybody. Can you hear me now? Okay. What I want from each one of you is we'll start with Daniel. How many questions you're left out of the 31 questions? One. Okay. Pur,
None.
you're done. Okay. Kirtana,
I got done.
what's that?
I had none left. I got done.
Oh, you're done. Oh, good. Alisa?
I was done.
Okay. Roshan?
I had none left.
Okay. Well, that's really good. That's exactly where we wanted you guys to be. What I want now from the, except Daniel, the remaining four who have done, what time were you done with the 31 questions? You had the clock here. So, Pur?
I think I wasn't exactly sure, but I think around 30.
Okay.
Around 30.
Kirtana?
34 minutes.
Alisa?
Same here, like 33, 34.
Roshan?
I was done around 34.
Okay, so again, this is fantastic. This is exactly what we planned. What we don't want you to rush and try to finish all questions so fast that you will make silly mistakes. So between 32 and 40, remember that's what I told you guys, to stay in that range. Now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna give you guys additional 5 more minutes. I know Daniel has one question left. At 40 minutes, I'm gonna stop the test and then we grade. Even though you have 45 minutes, you don't need it and you should not be in that situation. So you have 5 more minutes. Your time starts now. And I don't want anybody to waste time. Go back to any questions you're not sure on. Time's up. All right. Um, I'm gonna. Well, it looks like somebody dropped off. Okay. All right. Can you guys hear me? All right. I'm gonna read out the answers for the with calculator section. I'm gonna go in threes. So get ready here. Starting question number one. C A D A B D A C D B D A C A D C D A B B D B B C A C. Now to question number 28, the griddins. Question number 28, 2 or 18. Either answer is okay. 2 or 18. 29 is 20. 20. 30 is 160. 160. And 31 is 636. 636. I'll give a few minutes for you guys to go through the number of mistakes you have done. And the first question, then I'll go through each one of them. All right. Daniel, how many mistakes you made out of the 31 questions? 3. Okay, that's good. Purv?
1.
Okay. Kirtana?
4.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
4.
4. Okay. Alisa?
2.
Okay. Now what I want from you guys is to combine the number of correct from the with calculator and the without calculator. And out of the total 58 questions, no, sorry, I mean not 58, 48 questions, I would like to know total how many got correct, okay? So without and with combined, out of the 48, I need to know how many you guys got correct. And just do a thumbs up when you're ready. Are you guys ready? All right. Kirtana, can you tell me your total score?
I got 40 out of 48.
Okay, your converted PSAT score is 660. 660. Daniel. 44. That would be 700 out of 760. Remember, the highest is 760. 700 in Iowa, Daniel, and I think you have a chance to make the national merit with the 700 in Iowa. And Kirtana, you're in Nebraska, Omaha, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we need to push it a little bit higher, okay?
Okay.
Pour
47.
740, 740. Remember, 48 would be 760, but the curve was pretty bad for this test. 47 is 740. So remember one thing, you're in California, the cutoff score is 1490. The highest in the entire US is California in terms of cutoff for PSAT. So if you had a 740 now, in the remaining section on English language and writing, you might make a maximum mistake of 1 or 2 to get that 4090. So I will be interested to know which question you made mistake here. Okay. Alisa,
I got a 45 out of 48.
that's 710. Alisa, you're in New Jersey, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Even though it's a great score, New Jersey, we need to push it higher, okay? The worst thing about this test is the curve. This is one of the worst curve tests because 48 is 760, 47 is 740, 46 is 730, 45 is 710. So, and I don't expect curve like this, honestly, every time, but this is a bad curve, okay? Paul, which question did you make mistake on?
15. I think it was just. I think it was just a silly mistake.
But you were done at 30 minutes. Why didn't you not go to that missed question? Goes through these questions.
I was going through the other questions.
And which one was that you said?
1, 5, 15.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else have any questions?
For New Jersey, what score would I need to get?
Uh, to make the national merit for New Jersey is 1480.
So that's like a 47 out of 48.
Yeah, but remember there's also the English language section as well, right? It's a combined score. So let's say you had got and honestly speaking, if you had a 45 out of a 48, honestly speaking, your real PSAT math score would be around 730 because I know that. This is just a bad curve test, and that's not a common thing until unless you get such an easy test, which has happened in the past. So if you get a 730 in the math portion, you have to get 750 in the English language portion. That will be at 1480. But I can tell you right now, Lisa, with your score, you might easily make the commendation, which is 97th percentile of the state. So all of you are at a very good position right now to get the commendation here. Kirtana, you're on the little bit lower side, so we may have to push it, okay? Okay. Practice is that's the main thing is practice. And once you make a mistake, is to go back and what just was Pur was saying that right. He made a mistake. It's a silly mistake. That can't happen in PSAT. That's why you have to have that muscle memory of practicing, so that this doesn't happen. And don't take things for granted. Okay. So put in the time. Any other questions you guys have? But really, I'm surprisingly, of course we have only 4 or 5 students. I know Roshan stepped out now, but usually these are not the common scores we get: 40s and 45s and 44s. We get scores between 37 to 46. That's been the average for this test. from the students in the past. So we are on the higher side as an average, but we only have 4 students. This is the first time we had such a small class in my 10 years of doing this. So I'm thoroughly disappointed. I know a couple of students had other things going on, but the rest have no communication. So if they are watching this video, just want you to know I'm very disappointed that you guys didn't show up or had no communication with me. Anything else you guys want me to go through in this section?
Did you go over 29 and 30?
29, 29 and 30. 29 and 30. All right. Okay. Now, what? Anything else, by the way? Okay. Now let's go back to these questions with the no calculator section. Go to page number 476. And honestly speaking, this was not an easy question, like not really hard either, but you have to really know the concept to get this question right. Otherwise, you may have just made a guess. So let me explain to this problem. So they have given this diagram here of triangles, and they gave a ratio. And the ratio says Fj divided by Fh. Fj divided by Fh is equal to Fg divided by Gh. So, as soon as I know that if the ratios are same, that means it is a similar triangle. That means this triangle is similar to the bigger triangle. But what we don't know is how is the similarity or the congruency established. But I know this ratio. So what is the trick part here is to redraw the triangles for congruency using the ratios. So what I did was I drew FJH as is, simple. First triangle is easy to draw. Then this is a symbol for congruency. Then I'm drawing the second triangle, but this is where you have to be careful because the ratios have to align. So FJ is congruent to FG. So FG, FJ. So I want to make sure that these two sides are same. That means parallel, because for similar triangles, the sides have to be parallel or congruent. And then FH is congruent to GH. So you can see the sides are matching, FJ, FG, FH, GH. So that means JH is congruent to FH. So I can also add another ratio here if I want to, that JH will be congruent to FH. With this information, what I did was I went through the answer choices to make sure which angles are going to be congruent. So I'm going to go through each one of them. Okay, you have to be very careful with these problems. First one is FGH. FGH is congruent to FHJ. No, if FG is the angle here, the congruency will be established with JFH. So that's not correct. FJG, well, the triangles itself are wrong. So option B is wrong. C is GFJ. GFJ, well, that's a different triangle altogether again. That's not correct. The D option is GFH, that's this angle, is congruent to FJH. You can see this is the congruencies here. And then this is the next congruency. This congruency. And then this will be the third one, third congruency. So in a similar triangle, angles will be, corresponding angles will be same. The side lengths will be different. If the side lengths are also same, they are called same triangles. This is now called similar triangles. And if you have not drawn this way, you may have just gotten lucky, because it's very hard to actually justify from these. It's not that easy. So the trick part here is to always redraw, and I cannot emphasize this. Otherwise, you'll end up making a silly mistake. Who asked this question?
I did.
Does this make sense?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
How many got this correct after redrawing it? Yeah, if you have not redrawn it, I'm afraid you may have I'm just worried about that. Yeah. Especially the triangle they gave is not that obvious. So, you may have other strategies, I'm okay with that. But if you ask, if I've done this for a long time to know that anything with similar triangles, you got to be careful. Any questions on this? All right, let's go to question number 16. So in question number 16, they have two factors, and they're asking for the product of G and H. So when you do this problem, and they're also saying G is not equal to 0, H is not equal to 0, and they give this this information, which I found out at the end that was not even needed. G minus H, the difference between G and H is 5, or H and H minus G or 5. So I just wrote both options, but eventually I didn't even need it. And they're saying that the coefficient of x squared, y squared, after this was FOILed is 0. That's the information they have given. One thing I'm going to warn you guys when this problem is not hard, but you may make silly mistakes. So be very careful. 6g x raised to 4, first term. Then outside, g h x squared y squared. Then the inside, negative 24 x squared y squared. Then the last one, negative 4h y raised to 4. Then we have two like terms, x squared and y squared here. If I factorize that out, I get gh minus 24. And what they're saying is the coefficient of x squared y squared, which is gh minus 24, is equal to 0. So gh is equal to 24. So this information was not even needed. I still don't know why they gave that. Usually it doesn't happen much in PSAT. They don't give redundant information there. How many did this by this method and got it correct? 1, 2. Okay. So, okay. Kirtana, does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, you guys have to ask questions. That's what we're here for. As you just found out how bad the curve was for this test. Okay. All right. So what we are gonna do now is we are gonna go to this book. All right, open page 819. It's a no calculators section, so put your calculators away. This is an SAT test, not a PSAT test. So you can see you have more questions, 25 minutes, 20 questions. What's going to happen now is you're going to get 20 minutes. You'll have to finish all 20 questions. And we stop the test at the time. I don't want to give more than 20 minutes for this. You can go in any order you want, just like this one. This is no calculator section. I'm going to reset the time here. Are you guys ready? Do a thumbs up quick. Alisa, you ready?
Yeah, sorry.
Your time starts now. All right, guys, we're gonna stop here. I want to know from each one of you how many questions were you left with? Daniel? 2. Purv?
0.
Kirtana?
You as well.
2. Okay. Elisa?
I had one.
Okay. Um, okay, so what I would like you guys to do, and I, especially for the 3 students here, you have left with 5 more minutes, and of course, we don't have time here today, but what I would like you to do is, time 5 more minutes after the class is done, and finish those questions. But time is important here. To make sure you do that. And on page 840 of this book, you'll have the answers. And you'll have to do the same thing for the with calculator section as well. Hopefully, you'll do it tomorrow. So I repeat for people who are watching the video as well, and for students who are here. You have to finish this test. This test is important. Okay. Again, I've done this many times. So first finish the without calculator section, time yourself, and then grade yourself, work on the mistakes, and tomorrow I expect you guys to do the with calculator section, which is 38 questions, 55 minutes for the SAT version of it. Why we started with PSAT first and then shifted to SAT was the curriculum is the same, difficulty level is the same. It's just that the PSAT has less questions than SAT. So now you focus on doing more questions so that you are trained for more questions for the same time. So it will feel a lot more easier in the real PSAT. That's how it is structured. So I repeat, on page 840 is the answers. You got to finish the without calculator, then grade it. Do the same thing for with calculator section. If you understand this, do a thumbs up, please. All right, good. Now we go to this book. We go to this book and open page number 490. Kirtan had asked 29 and 30, so I want to go through this. But before I start with this one, for question number 29, I just want you to know that in the table for the weight, it is 2 ounces and 5 ounces, and the total price of gold and platinum. One thing you have to remember, when you have a problem with, when you have more than 1 ounce, you want to convert everything into per ounce. So for gold, per ounce is 1,250. For platinum is per ounce is 1,500. Don't deal with 2 ounces and 5 ounces because you're not comparing apples to apples at the time. So with that in mind, we're going to go through question number 29. I'm going to call G is the total ounces of gold. P is the ounces of platinum. Oops. Okay. Ounces of platinum. So, as I said, I'm going to convert everything into per ounce, not the 2 ounces. So right now for gold, each ounce costs $1,250 times so many ounces of gold will give you the total cost of gold. Plus, same thing for platinum, $1,500 per ounce of platinum times P, which is the ounce of platinum, I get the total cost for platinum. This combined together, the total cost is, he's ready to spend is $170,000. I wrote this greater than less than it's an inequality because it says in the question he wants to spend at least $170,000. When you have a term like at least, that converts the problem into an inequality. Okay, I don't know if you guys did this. Anybody did this inequality for this problem? Okay, that's excellent because two people did it. That's excellent because the minimum he has to spend is $170,000. Okay, that's what he's trying to say. So he can spend more. That's at least. Then he has already purchased 10 boxes of gold, and as you know from the table, 1 box of gold has 2 ounces. So he has bought 20 ounces of gold. That 20 ounces of gold goes here because G represents the ounces of gold. Then I get $25,000 for the gold. And then, of course, I solve a simple equation for platinum of how many ounces of platinum can he buy? At least. He's going to buy at least 96.6 ounces of platinum. But the question they're asking is, what is the minimum number of boxes of platinum she can order to satisfy the requirements? So as I said before here itself, I'm dividing everything by per ounce. In a box there are 5 ounces, so he has to buy at least 19.33 boxes. Well, he can't buy 19.33, so it'll be buying 20 boxes to satisfy the criteria that he'll spend at least $170,000. Kirtana, does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Question number 30 was much more simpler. There's a bar graph. It says, and in the bar graph for November, it says 140 hours. So let me read the question, just want to make sure. In November, Robert jogged at an average pace of 8 miles per hour. In December, Robert ran for 8 hours at an average pace of 7 miles per hour. The total distance that Robert jogged each of the 2 months was the same. What is the value of H? So what I did from the table, the bar graph is, in November he jogged for 140 hours. So what I did was, distance, as you know, is speed multiplied by time. So 8 miles per hour, that was given, times 140. So he jogged 1,120 miles in November. Whoever that guy is, this is freakish to run so many miles, but anyway. That is the same miles he ran in December as well, because it says that he ran the same. And the question is, how much time did he take in December? The average running speed of 7 miles per hour. So it's distance divided by speed gives you time, 160 hours. Kirtana, make sense?
Yes, thank you.
So you know what I've told you guys about the homework, and not I should not say this is homework in terms of preparation. Now the next 15 days is going to be crucial because you cannot forget what we have done, and especially starting from the incomplete test from this book. You guys have to finish this. So finish the without calculator first, grade, then tomorrow do the with calculator section, again grade, work on the mistakes. If you don't work on the mistakes, that's where the learning does not happen and you're going to end up making the same mistake. So, do you have any final questions for me?
Do
Okay.
you have any specific tips for test day itself? Like,
Yeah, there will be a long text message that will be sent to you guys. Maybe today or tomorrow I'm going to do that. That has everything you need to take and everything. I will even recommend what to eat and everything as well.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's a pretty long message. Some people follow it, some don't, but we are doing our due diligence in telling you what we recommend in terms of final day preparations. The one thing I also want to say is the day before, you should not study. And you should be home early, relax, but you should not do anything serious. Come home at 10, that's not recommended. You need to get good sleep. The test day, you need to look at around at least 8 to 10 hours of sleep. And remember, people don't take these things seriously. Many don't. And these are and I'm not saying that getting a 10-hour sleep will get you a national merit, but if you want to get to that level, every bit matters. Because if you get tired by the time you get to the calculator section, you may be smart, but if you don't have this tenacity to focus on all the questions, that's where the silly mistakes are going to happen. Again, remember, I had the best of the best students who have gone through this and they have done well because one thing is they have prepared well. They were very clear in their preparation. So now I hope you can do it as well. Well, I just want to say, of course, as I said, I'm just a little disappointed that many people didn't show up for the last class. That rarely has happened. But I want to wish you guys the very best. We are here for you guys till the test is done. And even afterwards, you can always contact us for any questions you might have. All the best. And after the test is done, please text me how it went. The results are expected around December 5th or 6th, by the way, of this year. So we'll see how it goes. I hope I hope we have done our best, by the way. Hope you guys, because I've not heard anything from you guys, but I really hope we did our best and you have liked our program. Okay. So thank you. Have a good day. Good luck and stay in touch. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good day. Bye.
Thank you.